Students, next is your bandwidth. What is the meaning of bandwidth? Bandwidth means what? Bandwidth means this is the range of frequency, that is your frequency range of wave occupied by the signal. When a signal is sent, whether this is audio signal, you say speech signal, you say picture signal, so frequency range of waves occupied by the signal is known as bandwidth, and this is different for audio and video signal. So students, first we discuss bandwidth of transmission medium. What is this? For transmission medium, bandwidth for transmission medium. Transmission medium means, students, what? Transmission means your through wire or through coaxial cable your signal is sent, and this is for less than 18 gigahertz. Less than 18 GHz. So this is for a wire or coaxial cable. This is the frequency. But for free space means your radio wave transmission. That is from kilohertz to some gigahertz. I am taking some example. Suppose you know that is your amplitude modulation. Amplitude modulated signal or amplitude modulated. For example, Akashvani Cuttack. In Cuttack one station is there, Akashvani Cuttack, whose frequency is 972 kilohertz. This is the AM station of Cuttack. So what is the meaning of this? For amplitude modulation broadcast, frequency band is 540. Frequency band is 540 hertz. This is a range. 540 hertz to 1600. This is 540 kilohertz to 1600 kilohertz. This is the frequency band for what? Amplitude modulated wave. Suppose you take various example like your Joypur station, one is in Koraput, Sambalpur station, like your Cuttack station. So the frequency of that station is between 540 and 1600 kilohertz. It cannot be less than 540 or more than 1600 kilohertz. Similarly, if you consider FM, frequency modulated modulation or modulated broadcasts. So what is the range of frequency modulated broadcast? That is your 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz. 88. This is for 88 to 108 megahertz. Example, I am considering Radio Chocolate Dhoom Mitha. Its frequency is 104 megahertz. Cuttack Big FM 92.7 megahertz. Red FM 93.5 megahertz. I mean the stations which uses FM, the frequency range is 88 to 108 megahertz. Similarly, students, for TV communication, that is 47 to, for TV communication 47 to 960 megahertz. For mobile communication, this is 840 to 935 megahertz. I mean 840 to 935 megahertz. This is for mobile communication, or you say cellular mobile. Similarly, for satellite communication, the range is for uplink. Uplink means data will go to satellite, that is uplink. That is 5.9252 to 6.425 gigahertz. Downlink, data will come from satellite to earth station, that is 3.7 to 4.2 gigahertz. Downlink. So for satellite communication, this is the frequency band. Similarly, for optical fiber, you know, for optical fiber, I mean through this also data is sent. So this is a transmitting medium, and it is from 1 terahertz to 100 terahertz. So what data I have given, this is for bandwidth of transmission medium. Similarly, students, bandwidth of signal is there. What is that? Bandwidth of signal. Bandwidth of signal means what? You see, suppose you know speech signal is there, TV signal is there, your digital data is there. For speech signal, the bandwidth is, that is from 300 to 3100 hertz. This is the range. So bandwidth is how much? That is your 2800 hertz. That means 3100 minus 300, that gives 2800 hertz. This is the bandwidth of your speech signal. Similarly, for music signal, bandwidth is 20 kilohertz. For music, this is 20 kilohertz. So what does it mean, students? Bandwidth means, you say this is the frequency difference between upper and lower, that will be covered later. Or you say this is the twice of the signal transmitted. For example, Cuttack station uses 10 kilohertz as your signal. 10 kilohertz as your music signal. So its bandwidth is 20 kilohertz, twice of this. This is the bandwidth. Similarly, for TV signal, the bandwidth is about 6 megahertz. 6 megahertz is the bandwidth for TV signal, because TV signal contains both audio, that is speech and music, and video, that is picture. That's why 6 megahertz is the bandwidth for TV signal. Similarly, when you send data signal, digital data. For digital data, actually the bandwidth is infinite, unlimited bandwidth for digital signal. So these are your bandwidth for signal as well as transmitting medium. Students, when data is communicated through space, so for free space communication, this frequency band is divided like this. Suppose I consider some examples. When you take low frequency, this is 30 to 300 kilohertz. So this is used for navigation. When you consider mid frequency, this is from 300 kHz to 3000 kHz. This is used for amplitude modulated radio waves, what I already told. When you use high frequency band, HF band, this is your 3 MHz to 30 MHz. Similarly, when you consider very high frequency, VHF, very high frequency, 30 MHz to 3000 MHz, these are your FM or TV radio waves. Ultra high frequency, that is 300 MHz to 3000 MHz also. This is your ultra high frequency UHF, that is your TV terrestrial microwave communication. Super high frequency, this is 3 GHz to 30 GHz. So this is also used for satellite microwave communication. Why this is called microwave? Because its wavelength is less or small and frequency is high. That's why these are microwave. So this is what range. Suppose you are adjusting the frequency in your TV. You see, when you adjust high frequency band, suppose star plus coming in a high frequency band with certain frequency. But when you choose very high frequency or ultra high frequency, the frequency is changed. Same channel will come in different frequency. So these are the frequency band in free space communication. Okay.